Is there a strategy that'll help you grow your company faster? CEO Sales Strategies is an investigative business podcast for entrepreneurial people who never stop asking questions. Highly acclaimed sales revenue growth expert Doug C. Brown interviews CEOs, business owners, and professionals who serve them to uncover and share actionable tips and methods behind their bulletproof sales strategies. Topics covered on the show include their failures, struggles, secrets, and processes that help them succeed in selling millions to billions of dollars of their products and services, all with the sole aim of helping you grow your business. If you are eager to know the most effective sales secrets from the A players of the game, then the CEO Sales Strategies podcast is certainly the place to be.
Hey, this is Doug C. Brown bringing you another great episode of the CEO Sales Strategies podcast with an amazing guest. That guest is me. So it might sound a little braggadocious, but no, today you get me. You get me as your particular host and interviewer, and interviewee. And the reason I'm doing this is what's called the solo broadcast, is because I wanted to bring something to your attention, which is I've been noticing this across the board. And it kind of started about 2 years ago, and it's just continuing on. And it's regarding communication, because communication is the lifeblood of your business. It is all responsible for your initial sale, your second sale, your repetitive sales, expanding your sale, how many referrals you get. The whole gambit is just skewed around, if you will, or surrounded by communication. And, customer service today is an oxymoron in most companies. Initial conversation is similar, contradictory thought patterns going on within the communication. And it doesn't really matter if it's B2C, B2B, or B2E, business to consumer, business to business, or business to entrepreneurs. I'm seeing this across the board, and I'm seeing this in my own life. Just recently, we bought a new house, and the construction crew has been amazing in trying to get this house renovated for us, because we bought a house that needed renovation. And what they've been lacking in, quite frankly, most of the time is communication. Something will go wrong, they'll try to fix it, but they don't communicate to us, which has extended out their ability to deliver on time. We had a very short time frame in the beginning, but if they had communicated, we could have made adjustments on the back end, which would have made our lives a heck of a lot easier if it really comes down to it. So the question is, are you doing that to your business clients? Because whether it's B2C, B2B, or B2E, we're all human beings and we all want to communicate. Let me give you an example on business to consumer sales. We just recently purchased some mattresses at Mattress Firm. Now, Mattress Firm generally has a pretty good reputation. We spent about $6,500, if I remember correctly, on 3 mattresses. And the reality is they were due to deliver today, even though we're not into the house. Well, we bought 3 mattresses, some adjustable bases, and we get an email this morning saying, hey, deliver this to your house, where we're not at yet, because we're living in VRBOs until they complete the house, which is supposed to be today. And we get this email and it says, hey, you know what? 2 of your adjustable bases aren't showing up. Now, no one called. No one's giving a reason why. So now we're in scramble mode trying to figure this out. And we're like, geez, we've been on the road. We just drove 1,300 miles. We've been living in accommodating housing, VRBOs, for about 11 days until they get the house done. Now we've got one more problem stacked upon this, which is, hey, they're going to come in and throw some mattresses on the floor. Well, you could say, you know what? You could sleep there, but it's not as comfortable as sleeping in a regular bed. Point being is they're not communicating. They're just showing up, dropping, and doing the basics. And then they expect, oh yeah, you'll get this later on. Well, you know what? In a buyer's mind, my mind at this point, the buyer goes, you know what? Just let's go find somebody who has all this in stock who can deliver this by tomorrow. So I'm willing to cancel a $6,500 sale where I have 2 more bedrooms to buy additional furniture, which I won't buy from them based on this. And you might go, Doug, you're being kind of hard on these people. No, the reality is they need to communicate this. How many times have you been in business or you have expected something to be, and now your time's getting wasted, your funds are being depleted, and no one is telling you about it? For example, in the construction crew, I found out today we're $8,000 over budget. Well, don't you think that should have been conveyed to me earlier? What I'm trying to say to you in this podcast is your communication is the life's blood of your business. If you upset people, they remember. And if you really upset them by not telling them things proactively, then they're really going to remember this. One more example, Chase Bank. I've been with Chase Bank for over 20 years. I called in. I had somebody else on a credit card that I needed to get off the credit card. They said, you can't do that. However, what we can do is take a new credit card and we'll take the volume from that credit card and we'll extend it into the new volume of the credit card. In other words, I didn't want to drop that credit card because it's got 20 years worth of history on it. It will drop my credit score. So they told me, go ahead and do this. So I applied for the new credit card, got like a $21,000 credit line on that card. I had about $47,000 on the other card. I figured they'd just true it up and all would be good. But after the fact that I get the credit card, they tell me, oh, we can't do this. There was somebody else on this credit card. We can't do a transfer for you. We're only going to be able to do that transfer is if you drop the credit card that you have, then reapply for a credit line increase, which means that I've got to pull my credit again, which means every time I do this, I'm dropping my credit score. And if I drop the credit card, the original, I'll probably drop by 20 points or so. Now, between that and applying, my whole credit score could drop 25, 30%. No, not 30%, 25, 30 points. Now, that is the difference between taking you from an excellent credit score into a very good credit score, which affects your rate. So if I'm going for a mortgage, I'm going for something. Anyways, I call Chase Bank and they say, oops, yep, we made the mistake, but it's all on you, pal. We can't do anything. Here's my point. If I'm dropping the credit card, then I'm dropping all my credit cards. I'm dropping my banking relationship with Chase. I'm going to a bank that would actually support me in my life. Wouldn't you do the same? Now, again, this is not to sound like I'm just complaining. What I want you to get out of this is it doesn't matter if it's B2C or B2B. For example, my software company that is responsible for developing my software, their communication dropped off where they weren't communicating with me for almost a month. Now think about that. You've got hundreds of thousands, close to millions of dollars invested in something, and your software company just sort of stops talking to you. What do you expect, right? Now, lo and behold, the owner of the software company had some personal issues. Now, that is fine, but why not tell somebody? Why not tell somebody you're going through a divorce or you're having a challenge or this is the delay for this? Because when you're dealing with those type of numbers on companies my size anyways, those are pretty sizable investments when you're investing multiple six figures a year. Guess what happened? I decided in the process, because he did this twice, that I would start interviewing new companies. And guess what I did? I moved from him, who I've been there for years, to another software development company. And frankly, the relationship is much better for me. But here's the point. He's probably lost millions of dollars over the years just in revenue on my account. If you're doing that to 10 accounts, that can add up to a lot of money. So why not communicate? Why not bring things forth? Bangor Savings Bank, who I've been working with on my payroll for about 2 years. Bangor, all of a sudden, they stopped communicating. I made an inquiry because I needed to get a payroll audit done, and they didn't reply to me for weeks, then a month. And I kept making inquiries, 5 inquiries into the bank, still no resolution. Talking with multiple people, they said they'll get it done. They didn't. What did I do? I called the CEO of the bank. I actually found his number, called him, and left a voicemail message. My problem was solved within 2 hours of that phone call. Why do we need to call a CEO of a company in order to get response when all these people below are being well paid, highly trained to respond? I'll tell you why. Because over time, our ability to communicate the level of acceptance of communication has been dropping. And so if you don't look at this in your company, my suspicion is your revenues will start to drop. Your sales will get harder. Because if you are the person who is shining star, if you will, this shining star of the process, then you're going to want to put things in place that actually make the business work for you, also for your clients. Let me give you an example. I was driving up from Florida to New Hampshire, where I relocated, and I needed a place for myself, my family, and we had a cat with us, so we needed a place that was pet friendly. I called Marriott in New Jersey. They said, "Yeah, sure, we're a pet friendly hotel. They're the Courtyard. Great place to stay." I'm a gold member with Marriott. I'm a diamond member with Hilton. So I chose Marriott over Hilton at this time because of the availability. I wanted to use points. The hotel told me, "I can't use your points because I don't have access to Marriott's system." Now think about this for a second. No access to a system that you're part of. So I called Marriott Corporate. Marriott Corporate told me I can't use points. I called the hotel back. They said, "Absolutely, you can use points. Here's how many points it's supposed to be." I called corporate back. They say, "No, you can't use points." I said, "Why can't I use points?" They said, "The hotel sets the rules." I said, "I'm talking to the hotel, but the hotel says I can use points." And it goes back and forth, back and forth. I call the hotel and they go, "This is crazy. You should be able to use your points." Now, here's the point. I bought the room anyways, but I'm happy with the place in New Jersey, but I'll never bring my Marriott stays up and displace my Hilton points out. I won't become a diamond member or the highest level member with Marriott and drop the other brands. Why? Communication. I spent an hour and 15 minutes trying to get points for a hotel. Now, again, this might just sound like Doug is complaining. I don't want you to take that part out, although I am complaining and I'm giving it to you, all these complaints. But you look at companies who are doing great jobs on their communication. Let me give you one. It's called Baby Bathwater. It is a business networking group. Baby Bathwater, I invested $10,000 with them. Their annual subscription, I think, is $15,000, which I'm reinvesting in. I went to one live event for $10,000. The communication was amazing. I went to Mexico and I got to Mexico and they had people to pick us up. They were on time. They had communication going. They had all of these things well orchestrated, even post follow-up on the event, well orchestrated. If there was a challenge, they took care of it. If there was a challenge and they knew about it, they proactively communicated it to all the members that were there. This is how you want to run your business if you want repeat business and referrals. I've already told 3 people about Baby Bathwater, and they're not paying me a commission to do so. And I'm not asking for it because this is how we work as human beings. So, I've been to other Marriott hotels. They've been amazing. The Marriott in Peabody, Massachusetts, the Marriott in Nashua, New Hampshire, they've been amazing. But the corporate office dropped the ball to the point where I will not progress forward. How many of you are like me? I suspect some of you listeners out there are definitely like me, but here's the thing. Society in general has diminished or dropped the level of communicating. We do this through electronic medium more, and we're taking the personalization out of the communication loop. And we are human beings who still have emotions, want connection. It is a need, a human need to have connection. We want communication from one another. So if you ever had this happen to you, you go into a place and I don't know, maybe it's a restaurant or you go somewhere and all of a sudden it's amazing. Like the people are just communicating with you. Everything is flowing. It might be a problem or two. They let you know, oh my gosh, this is what's happening up front. And you're like, yeah, no big deal. This is great. I appreciate it. Why? Because they gave you part of your human need, which is certainty. Right. And so communication conveys certainty. Communication proactively, gives you good things. In other words, please take out of this podcast one thing. Look at your communication plan with your current people. Are you following up? Are you doing what's necessary? Follow-up is a common courtesy. It is not a laborious thing that you're supposed to do. It's something that should be built in, just like breathing. You breathe in, you breathe out. When you make a sale or you communicate with a business prospect, you should be doing follow-up because it's a common courtesy and it's expected, just like any proactive communication would be expected. So again, I know I'm complaining. I know I'm being emotional. What I want you to take out of this is look at your business, look at your communication plan, and ask yourself, are you at the top of your industry so that you can be selling in the top 1% of your industry globally. And part of that success, and a major part, is going to be the communication plan that you have with your clients. This is Doug Brown. Until next time, go out, be brilliant, sell a lot of stuff, sell it profitably. And if you like the subject matter, please give this a 5-star review if you have not already, and subscribe to the podcast if you have not already. Until next time, we will see you again with a great episode. If you have material that you want us to cover on this podcast, we'll go out and source a guest for you. Just send it in to Doug@ceosalesstrategies.com, Doug Brown 123. That's my LinkedIn, or call the company at 603-595-0303. Let us know your ideas. We would love to hear from you. And of course, if you need help in helping your people who are employees or yourself get into the top 1% of sales in your industry globally, let us know. Or if you want to hire, retain, train, and maintain the relationship, or build a team of A players, what we call elite sales producers, those who are already in the top 1% or will be in the top 1% for you, reach out to us. We can help you. Until next time, have a great day, and to your success.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the CEO Sales Strategies Podcast. What is something that you learned that you could act on today? Don't forget to schedule it now, or it may never get forward momentum. If you find our content valuable, please leave a favorable review and let us know what you liked. Please also share this with others if the content will help them. For our show notes, other episodes, and more interesting content and resources, please visit ceosalesstrategiespodcast.com. See you soon, and to your continued success.